Hello, welcome to the Financial Aid Orientation. This orientation was created to inform you, the financial aid student, about the policies and procedures of receiving financial aid at DVC. We want you to know how to receive financial aid, but most importantly, we want you to know how to keep your financial aid. If you have not done so already, please print out or access the Financial Aid Orientation Outline and the SAP 67% grid that is located on the same page of this video. Getting your financial aid, the financial aid process. Step 1. The first step in receiving financial aid is to make sure that you apply for it. Ideally, you would want to file your FAFSA, free application for federal student aid, between January 1st and March 2nd of every year. By meeting the March 2nd deadline, you are allowing yourself to see if you're eligible for the most amount of money available to students. There are grants that are based on limited funding, and students who meet the March 2nd deadline are given priority. If applicable, always choose to link your federal IRS taxes with your FAFSA by using the IRS data retrieval tool in the FAFSA. If taxes are not completed before you submit your FAFSA, you can always go back to your FAFSA after the taxes have been filed and use the IRS data retrieval tool at that point. Once your FAFSA has been received by the Department of Education, they begin processing the information you have provided on your FAFSA. They will then send your information to the schools that you have listed on your FAFSA, and each school will be responsible for contacting you. This takes between 2 to 3 weeks.
Step 2. Once the DVC Financial Aid Office receives your information, we will send you an email to your Insight portal account letting you know if you are eligible for financial aid or not. If you are eligible, your letter will let you know if you need to complete additional steps, forms, or provide documentation that need to be submitted to the financial aid office before your file is complete. It is important to complete all the steps, forms, and provide documentation as soon as possible because we cannot complete your file until these are all completed and reviewed. Basically, this means that without your paperwork, your check will not be mailed to you. If you have not received an email or don't know if you have all the paperwork we need from you, please visit the financial aid office after completing this orientation.
Step 3. Make sure that you schedule an appointment and submit all your paperwork completely, and this includes transcripts. In order for us to process your file in a timely manner, we cannot accept paperwork piece by piece. Additionally, submitting your paperwork together allows you to know that you are submitting everything that we need from you. Once we receive your paperwork, the process takes between 4 to 6 weeks. Please note, processing time may be longer during peak times. Processing allows for us to review the information you have provided to us to make sure that they match with the information provided on your FAFSA. If information is incorrect, we may ask you to provide additional documentation or make the necessary corrections. If corrections do need to be made, this will lengthen the process time. Please make sure that the information you're providing is accurate and that you are not missing any signatures or academic transcripts. Transcripts are requested from all students who have previously attended a college or university before coming to DVC. These transcripts need to be forwarded to admissions office for evaluation before we can complete the process. Step 4. If we have evaluated the paperwork you have submitted and no corrections need to be made, your award letter in your Insight Portal Web Advisor account will be updated to reflect the awards you have been awarded. You will receive an email notification when your award letter has been updated. The award letter is your confirmation that your file is complete, and it will let you know what you are eligible for and when to expect your check. The next step is to wait for your check.
Step 5. Your check will be mailed out to you, so make sure that your address on file with admissions and records is current and accurate. We have many students who come in after the checks have been sent out asking why they have not received their check. When we look at where their check has been mailed, they let us know that they no longer reside in that address. Unfortunately, that's where the check has been sent because that's the address we have on file. This will require the district to put a stop on the check, reissue another check, and mail out the new check. This can take up to 4 weeks, further delaying the process. If your award letter has been updated with awards, including the Pell Grant, before the 5th week of school, you will receive your award in 2 checks. The first check will be 50% of your award for the semester and will be mailed out as early as after the 1st week of school, but is dependent on when your file was completed. The second check, 50%, the rest of your award, will be mailed to you after the 10th week of school. If your award letter gets updated after the 5th week of school, you will receive your award in one check. The full 100% of your award will be mailed out to you. When it will be mailed out to you is dependent on when your file is complete. Your check is based on the amount of units you are taking. It is a common misconception that you need to be a full-time student taking 12 units to receive financial aid. That's not true. You can be taking 6 units or 9 units and still receive financial aid. Even some students taking less than 6 units may be able to receive their award. The amount of your award will be dependent and comparable to the amount of units you are taking, meaning that you don't have to be a full-time student to receive financial aid.
So you have submitted your FAFSA, received an email from our office, submitted your paperwork, and have an updated award letter. What can you find in your award letter? The following is a short list of what may be on your award letter. The Pell Grant is the grant awarded by the federal government. In order for them to see who is eligible for the Pell Grant, the FAFSA must be submitted. Like the federal government, the state government also has a grant award called the Cal Grant. In order to see if you are eligible for this grant, you must submit both the FAFSA and the Cal Grant GPA verification form. The Cal Grant GPA verification form is needed because they have a 2.0 GPA minimum requirement. Since the Cal Grant is a very competitive program, the higher your GPA, the better your chances of receiving the award. Both forms must be submitted by March 2nd. Students attending a community college has a second chance and need to submit the forms by September 2nd. Please visit the Financial Aid Office to find out how you can fill out your Cal Grant GPA verification form. The Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant, SEOG, is one of those grants that are unlimited funding. And like we mentioned earlier, you should submit your FAFSA between January 1st and March 2nd to increase your chances of being awarded this grant. Since it's on unlimited funding, we look at the students who met the March 2nd deadline first. For example, there could be 1,000 students who met the eligibility requirements, but since it's limited, we can only award the first 500 students who have met the eligibility requirements. There are no additional forms that need to be submitted. Just make sure that your FAFSA is submitted online by March 2nd to seek eligibility. The Chafee Grant is awarded to students that were or are currently in foster care between the ages of 17 and 22. Please see the Financial Aid Office for the Chafee Grant form. The Board of Governors fee waiver isn't technically a grant or an award you receive in check form, but rather a status that is placed on your account. This status will allow you to take classes at DVC without having to pay enrollment fees. Student union fees, however, are not covered in the Board of Governors fee waiver. Monies will only be reimbursed for students who have paid for the enrollment fees before finding out that they were eligible for the fee waiver.
We understand that it is human nature to be curious and have the need to find out what is happening to your file. So the following are some do's and don'ts of following up with your file. The Financial Aid Office cannot provide you with any personal information over the phone. We are prohibited by federal regulations from releasing any personal information over the phone. There is no way for us to verify that the other person on the line is you, regardless if you provide us with your social security number or ID number. Please come into the Financial Aid Office to handle your business either before or after class. Perhaps come in 15 minutes before your class starts or stay a little after class ends to check the status of your file. The Financial Aid Office also cannot provide student information to anyone other than the student. We have many students coming in with their parents or significant others who want to follow up or have access to their files. However, we cannot release any personal information to anyone else unless the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act FERPA form is completed and filed in the Financial Aid Office. Both the student and the other party must be present in the Financial Aid Office with their own federal or state-issued photo ID to complete the form in order for this form to be valid. We cannot stress it enough. Your address on file at Admissions and Records Office must be accurate and current. In fact, anytime anything changes, your name, your address, phone number, email, major, and educational goal, you need to make sure that the change is reflected on your file with Admissions and Records. Our only form of communication with you will be through email, but please make sure your file is always updated, especially your mailing address, so receipt of your financial aid checks will not be delayed.
Like we've mentioned before, your award letter lets you know your total award for the academic year. To see how much you will receive per semester based on a full-time enrollment, look at the top of your award letter. This will let you know how much you will receive per semester. Make sure that your schedule is set before the drop without a W deadline date every semester. Additionally, the number of units you are in before the 10th week of school will also determine your award or second disbursement. So make sure that you are enrolled, not waitlisted in the classes you know you will complete and need for the semester. Remember, you don't have to be a full-time student to receive financial aid. We also strongly encourage that students meet with an academic counselor once a semester to develop and/or maintain an educational plan. This is one of the best things that a student could ever do with an academic counselor here at DVC. The education plan is a form that a counselor can fill out with the student and will basically serve as a roadmap for the student's educational goal.